Testing. Oh, don't know if it's working. Testing. Okay. My channel is blocked. You can definitely see that. Send me a message if you can see this, folks. Can't really see if anyone can hear me. I'm just actually tuning in to re-engage with you all to see if my YouTube channel is working. I am live on Rumble as well, but just trying YouTube out tonight, and I had a great show just now, so I thought I'd check in on my channel. Seems to I posted something the other day, and it just seems like YouTube is hiding me. So let's see if I can shift this today and get some activity going on my non-existing YouTube channel. There is no interaction with the audience. Normally the live chat is on, so don't know what's going on there. Can you see it? Anybody? Be nice to get some interaction. It's showing as no one watching. Billy no mates. Okay, well, never mind. There's always going to be the replay. If you're watching this on live, if you can see it, because I can't tell if anyone's on. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I have engaged with my audience, and I guess that has a big part to play in my visibility. I haven't posted anything for about 3-4 months, and I just had a wonderful show with a guy called Bruce Poppy, and I thought, let me come in and say hello to everyone. We were speaking about a very pertinent topic to what's going on at the moment with the spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, and it may seem a running theme for a while now, but it is very indicative of the things that we are witnessing. But it's been a bit disappointing for me because I seem to be blocked, and Facebook blocked me again the other day, and can't believe this stuff's still happening. And anyway, I'll still continue and try and get the algorithms moving. I had people say to me, Alpa, we used to get notification of your YouTube lives, but you don't. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that all I seem to do lately is talk about Ari, and it's a subject that's kind of concentrated, subject of autism. I'm not doing shows and podcasts about the geopolitical realm as much as I used to back in 2021, and have become so over it. But that said, I have some good shows lined up with people, and today it's just really checking in and testing to see if it's working, or if I should just do pre-recorded shows and just get people to come across to Rumble. Either which way, hope everyone's well. and in the best spirits. 2024 has definitely been fireworks. So many different twists and turns and plot twists to our journey. And we are where we are. And I just hope that everyone's well and in exuberant spirits, even in spite of some testing cosmic energies that we've been facing collectively. And definitely do watch the show that I did with Bruce. It's not just about Ari, although we do mention it there. Hello, Kenzo. I think he wants to join. And yeah, Bruce is a wonderful guy. We've connected recently, and in light of some of the shenanigans that have been going on this first half of the year. And it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. So if you want to hear about what we discussed, my own personal trials and tribulations within this movement, and focusing on what is going on in the unseen warfare, we talk about the information and psychological and geopolitical warfare, but the spiritual warfare is so rife at the moment. And so much inner work is needed throughout all these shifts. And I love talking about that. And I've got Emily, who I did a show with about a year ago. She's just amazing, and she gives her insights into what's going on. I'll be doing a new segment for Twin Flames with Jen McCarthy and a few other heavyweights in the subject of twin flames and divine feminine, divine masculine, what this journey is about. And of course, the subject of autism. I do suspect that I have had some sort of shadow ban because of Ari, because I noticed that gets shadow banned quite a bit. But hey, YouTube, I love you. It's oils. I'm not going to mention things that make you uncomfortable. This is to help children from all ages, for all ages, sorry. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Help me spread the word, YouTube. So while we're on the subject of Ari, the business took quite a thrashing because of, I keep calling it boy band drama, playground drama that's been happening. And I was used as a pawn in the middle. The business was used as a pawn. And I just wanted to address a few things about that because it's just gnarly. And Ari took a good beating, and Paul Donald and Barbara were affected by it too. An elderly couple that make this product for me. And some mums, angry mums that wrote in because disgusted at the things that were being said. So no, it's not a snake oil, in spite of attempts to character assassinate me or my business. It's oils that's mixed together, herbal remedies that have been proven to assist and help children that sit on the spectrum. Huge improvements are seen. Rochelle, who is the head director at a center in Idaho that specifically is a development center for children on the spectrum. A year on, she's expressing some monumental results. And it's taken a year for some are noticing a difference quite quickly, but Ari's doing its bit. Ari's been on a mission, at the other side of this great global awakening as a solution-focused business that's doing its bit. It may resonate with some, it may not, and that's okay. That's fine. We're here on a journey to co-create for the betterment of humanity, and I'm certainly not here to be a grifter or mislead anyone. There's been some fantastic results, and if this resonates with you, it resonates with you, and if it doesn't, then hey, maybe just not try it if you're not resonating with it. But one thing I spoke about on the show today is this truth of warfare that's going on, where people are just character assassinating everyone, sabotaging others and themselves as a result. I mean, to what avail, folks? Well, I thought we started this journey with great mindsets and naive in my thought, but change is the law of the universe, and we are where we are. But it's interesting to see what's going on. But June, for the whole month of June, I'm doing a 30% discount on Ari. If you go on Bruce, you'll see his own affiliate, and that's on everything. But through the actual website, you can have a 30% discount on the 30 mil deluxe package, which is this and this. That's the two. It's online. And of course, you use the detox support in the first instance for 14 days. Put it on your feet or in the navel. Some like using it on both. If you feel that you need an extra push, then maybe add a few drops on each foot. We like to start off gently because, especially with children, it is quite a whole concoction of potent herbs. So you've got to start off slowly. But if you're not feeling any kind of anything, then up the drops on each foot and maybe put one or two in your navel. I do a pipette on each foot and a few drops in my navel. I love it. And then what that's doing is detoxing heavy metals from the brain through the bloodstream. The feet have the largest pores on our body, and it bypasses the digestive tract straight into the bloodstream, and it kind of binds all the toxins gently. Some report a Herxheimer's reaction, a huge detox symptom like increased bowel movement. Sometimes some saying that they're getting rashes on their body, and this is indicative of toxins coming out from the body. Let me see. Oh, it still says nobody's watching. Oh, well, never mind. And then you nourish the brain with the cognitive support. So, and you use that as long as you need to, and continuously to start reaping the rewards of how this works. So there's a discount on this size, which is June 30, and I'm running it throughout the whole month. And yeah, I just wanted to see if this works. So clearly it's not, but I'd love to be able to interact with you guys. Oh, yes. Hello. It's just started now. Hi, Loretta. How you doing? Lee Eddie. It's weird, because I notice when you're not active on your social media platforms, takes a while to rejig it. Did that with another show and it just didn't show up, but it's okay. A bit of time and a bit of consistency. I'm sure it will get back up. And of course, what I talk about, I think people are just used to me speaking about Ari, and I've kind of left the whole truth and movement some time ago, but it was really nice to talk to Bruce about the spiritual warfare, what's going on, mind viruses, how people's behaviors are very interesting to observe what's going on across the social media platforms, people bashing each other. But we're in a time of exposure. This was said back in 2020, 2024, especially after the election, that when Trump lost, that we knew that this was a movie playing out, and it wasn't a movie that was playing out that would reveal itself overnight. So many plot twists, and I definitely recommend everyone to watch The Greatest Show on Earth that Nick and I did together. He did a phenomenal job with that, and that went viral. But these were kind of topics that, if you remember, if you're following me from the days of the Charlie Freak, Mark Devlin days, we did the capitulation, takedown of the cabal A to Z. And I remember when, Nick wanted to do The Greatest Show on Earth, he was going to base it on Derek Johnson's executive orders. And that was phenomenal. And I was like, you've got to watch Bonfire Guy again, and talk about the capitulation that Trump, the capitulation tour that Trump took post his presidency in 2017. And we are witnessing so much being exposed now, especially in the media. So if the powers that be, the good guys, are in control, and we're seeing a turn in what the media rhetoric is about right now, it's phenomenal. So much is being exposed, and very bluntly and very obviously. And the questions that we've been sort of throwing out there for 3 years, isn't it great to see that we're starting to see and witness this? Yeah, it is. Hi, bright eyes. Oh, wow. I've got 3 people watching. Yay. Yeah, it was brilliant. And that was the greatest show on earth. And I think people should watch that again. I think it will kind of put things into place. I mean, again, if you connect with it, you connect with it. And I feel quite excited after Trump's conviction. I thought, whoa, this is things are happening, and it's just been like a snowball effect of many things going on. What's been disappointing, though, has been some of the behaviors amongst our community. But it's all unfolding as it's meant to. And I was talking about the psychological warfare. And to understand it, we have to first understand ourselves, right? I'm just going to read off some of the things that I was saying on the show, that how we're influenced by this unseen, insidious warfare called Wetico that is intercepting like a mind virus. That is a mind virus. And I learned a lot about it through Laura Matsu and Paul Levy's work that talk about it in depth. So if you want to find out about that, I definitely recommend you look them up and learn about that and the spiritual consequences of the shot. I learned so much. And it puts things in perspective about what is unfolding within the psychological makeup of people and behaviors. One of my friends said that she was in a shopping center, just speaking to her mum in her own language. And then there was a couple fighting. And the child was screaming. So my friend, in her own sort of language, just sort of said to her mum, I wonder what's going on. And out of nowhere, the woman must have seen her speak to her mum, and she came over and went to attack her violently. It was nuts. She started pulling her hair out, and this is like things that we're seeing happening on the street. I just was walking down the street the other day, and people were fighting, like just bashing each other and all sorts of crazy things. And then everyone calling everyone out, everyone kind of calling me a grifter and my dog a grifter. Kenzo, are you a grifter? Yeah, he's not interested. And Ari, my business. And it's okay. I get it. I get why all of this stuff is happening. But I think I feel really positive over the last few days, overcoming so many things and challenges acutely in the last 6 months. And I feel that the energy shifts feel lighter. And that's simply because I've been on this inward journey, really trying to just work within my spiritual journey, doing what I need to do, owning up my own shadows, going through the darkest night of the soul, really confused about so many things, kind of startled about a lot of the behaviors that have happened online, and having to face my fears. And doing that in the public arena hasn't been easy, but it's definitely all conducive for my journey. And we're all on a journey, right? We're all on a journey of self-discovery, trying to find out what's going on and living in these chaotic times in the best way we can, in spite of what gets thrown at us. Losing all my social media channels really got me down. And I think I reveled in that sort of pity party for some time. And I just thought, I can't be bothered to do this anymore. I was really inconsistent, busy building other people up and their businesses. And I took a nosedive with the Alpasoni energy that I came into this movement with. Now, just because I had discussions with likes of Charlie Ward and so many people that are being gunned down in this movement, I guess I'm guilty by association. I guess I'm a Fed or a CIA or some sort of controlled opposition. Everybody's a controlled opposition. You know, if I talk to somebody that somebody doesn't like, they're a controlled opposition. Yeah, it is like being possessed, isn't it, Loretta? for sure. And it's Laura talks about it as that she says to understand the spiritual warfare, you first have to understand yourself. Benevolent beings are constantly influencing us. The angels are always there. I can feel them. But at the same time, there are lower forces that influence us, and it depends on the levels of consciousness that we're all at. The more unconscious you are, either through trauma, taking drugs regularly, recreational, pharmaceutical, consuming violent media, or simply being identified with the false self, the more you're influenced by evil forces, the more you have to do psychological inner work to clear out what is in the way to connect you and your connection to God, and have a consistent spiritual practice with prayer. The more you align with these benevolent forces and are more discerning with the I can never say this, malevolent ones that are trying to infect you. So let's look at what's going on with the truth community. If you are on one side, it's this divide and conquer tactics have definitely had their way and worked wonders. Everyone is gunning people down as grifters. Today I saw something about Mickey Willis and the pandemic, and he had a premiere. Didn't see too much into the story, but Mickey Willis, I've met him. He's a phenomenal guy. Him and his wife and his family, they're a beautiful, beautiful family that, you know, he was in the Hollywood fraternity before this movement, and he just left all of that and created his own mark and his own niche in this movement. And he talks so eloquently, and he's a very gracious man. I've met him in person, and I can't believe he's being attacked the way he is. Judy Mikovich, she's a veteran. She's phenomenal. And because they get together and get invited to some of these tours, I can understand how there is this negativity surrounding these tours. I understand all the sides, but gunning everyone down for something or another just beats me. Maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm gullible, but you have to do your research. You do have to question everything. But folks, can we not do this in a better way? Name calling, name shaming, profanities, hurling abuse, doing memes, and all of this. Maybe I'm too ignorant about these things. Maybe I'm not approaching it the right way, but it doesn't feel comfortable for me at all. So I just came off social media. I just decided to let everything play out, even including the attacks to me, not the only one. And yeah, but I do a bubble of light. That's what I've been focusing on, Loretta, my spiritual hygiene. And you know, grounding, trying to do the inner work. And what is inner work? It's facing your deepest, darkest shadows, going through the darkest night of the soul, and sitting with your pain and actually figuring out what is it that is your wounding. We can deal with things at surface level, but they'll come and bite you in the bum through these mind viruses. So if we're unfamiliar at how we get attacked, you know, people say, oh, this is psychic attack. And I was just like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Because every time I'd go online or something, you know, something would happen. And then good friends, well-meaning friends would say, well, you're just being attacked, Alpa. And I get it. I could see things that were unfolding. But again, it's the shadows that are all and all the traumas and the wounding that is sitting there in your psyche, in your subconscious, that you may or may not even be aware of, that's being siphoned through these mind viruses and the unseen occult, if you are actually, without realizing, giving consent. So she talks about Wetiko. I don't know if people have heard about that. Wetiko? You have? Yeah. And says how people become totalitarian maniacs about the current thing. So look at the war in Palestine and Israel. Remember all these things that, like, such as Black Lives Matter, the transgender agenda. all these protests around the world, the truther movement, things that I faced with regards to the whole Feel Good Lasky thing. And there was almost like an unhinged obsession with things that were pertinent to these kind of subjects. I get what's going on in Palestine and Israel. They have a phenomenal podcast that give such a psychoanalytical analysis and spiritual analysis of what's going on to ground you from not getting into this mania about what they've been doing through these psyops. And that's not being disrespectful to any of these movements. Well, Black Lives Matter, that was something that was very obvious to our community. And, you know, we were fighting through those sort of times, but, you know, that's really calmed down and people are learning and understanding where all that went. So she goes on to say that when you are infested with this virus, you know, people then try to force onto others and canceling them if they don't agree with them through this mind virus. And it's a virus that can insert itself into anyone via their own shadow, trauma, blind spots, and wounding. There is no talking rationally using logic or facts with someone under this spell of this psychic epidemic, as their ability to reason and use discernment has been disabled and distorted in service to the psychic pathogen within which they carry. I don't know if you've witnessed it, but I certainly have. I mean, I did find it funny at one point, but just as an observer, not absorbing its energetic influence on me, I had to work through it and, you know, work through a lot of my fears and my insecurities. And it scared the frigging living daylights out of me, especially because there's such a huge time frame from when I was consistently doing podcasts to then being immersed in Ari and then only talking about Ari and then that being attacked, you know, and that was so overly consuming. And the individual, Alessandro, I know he'll watch this, but I want to send you love, Alessandro. You know, there's a saying called crisis is a blessing. And that, you know, you attacking me every other day through memes, through sending me abusive messages online, some threatening through your minions and doing what you had to do. I hope that really served you for your highest good in alignment with what you think is divinity, calling me a child abuser, all these kind of things, which I addressed on Bruce Poppy's show. And somewhere along the line, inadvertently, I have nothing but gratitude. And I can say that I hope that you see that there should be gratitude in your journey, Alessandra, because you've become from, you know, 200-300 followers to 20,000 followers on piggybacking off Phil, sabotaging my business. And, you know, for everyone that you call a grifter, you've started making a lot of money through, you know, your newfound platform and audience. And hey, everyone, you know, I remember you couldn't pay your bills and you were, you know, trying to fundraise and doing all these things because it's hard, it's tough. Can't pay your bills with a hug, can you, Alessandro? I certainly can't. And you very I won't say successfully, but you did your bit by calling Ari a snake oil, making videos, and your anger and your hatred towards Nick. You didn't end up hurting him, did you? You ended up hurting Ari and mums that I stopped from taking legal action because it just wasn't worth it in the end. You know, you'll see. I'd love to send you a bottle if you're watching. I think you sit on the spectrum a little bit and the rage that you have, it's emotional meltdown sometimes, you know, rage and the fact that you like hate me so much. But today, I get it. I get where this dysfunctional kind of energy started from, your enmity with Nick. I get that you used me as a pawn, but every single day making memes at one point and every single channel or so many channels trying to character assassinate me. Do what you want, Nick, you know. So I'm learning, and I'm grateful to you. I'm glad to see that, your business has started to thrive. Crisis is a blessing. You've got your own, if had you carried on with Nick, you'd still be working with him for doing your 4 videos a week, $100 a pop. And not really in your own voice. So this twist and turn served you to really start up on your own and get your business thriving. So I hope that you are watching this and the steam has kind of like subsided, not blowing any more off, and I'm not going to be making any more videos sharing things about me in rage. It's got to stop somewhere, doesn't it? But I'll leave that with you. I'll leave that with you, and I'll leave that with anyone who thinks Ari is a snake oil, is the Antichrist, that me being Hindu is demonic, or coming from that faith. Anything to do with yoga is demonic. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm saying. There was no talking rationally to some of these individuals. And there's so much hypocrisy going around because there's this need to be right, and a need to bring others down so that we can lift ourselves up. And I was angry at one point. I did have a little bit of a moment, but I took time out, and I really enjoyed the conversation that I had with Bruce. I was just sat here and I thought, let me check in with my audience. Let me see if I can play something and share a screen here. I want to show you something. Oh, here we go. Check this out, guys. Let's see if you can hear it. Can you see that? Second. He was 13. Did he get the official diagnosis as sitting on the spectrum? Hold on. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, here we go. Can you see it, guys? Autism is a subject that's very close to my heart. The business is named after my beautiful boy, my nephew Ari, who was ignored by the medical profession. Back when he was 2 years old, it was only until he was 13 did he get the official diagnosis as sitting on the spectrum. So my quote-unquote obsession with the subject started with him. Just looking at children who are on the spectrum and who are suffering, it was like these little bodies just stuck, these little souls stuck inside of a body. You can't see it now. Thanks for letting me know. See, that's why I need engagement. It's okay. It's you can see it on the website. It was just one of the testimonials. And I'll try and figure this out. Like I said, this was impromptu show, so just getting myself acquainted with what's going on. It was showing earlier on. That's interesting to see again. But yeah, thank you. Is it Nanana? Nanani? Memnon? I like that name. Sometimes that works out for the person's very betterment, like the flame that gives flower, rocket, and fancy. I love that. That really makes a lot of sense. Let's cancel this. We can go on and on about this, but I think when you understand how to tackle it and how to make the significant changes where something's continuously like happening, it really homes into the inner work that we need to do individually, and not living in that shame, that guilt programming, and worrying. And when I started in 2020, I had all of that. I was fearless. I felt really, really like so congruent with this mission, and for truth, freedom, and health. And I was angry, I was upset, and I really wanted my family, people that I love, not to take the and look at what's heading the headlines over the last few weeks, not months. It's been, we can say drip fed, but it's becoming more and more obvious, and so much is centered around this, but it seems like it's been that subject for 3 years, and it can be exhausting for, the same things being sort of played out, but it's progress. Where is it going? Who the heck knows? We've got together collectively in our communities where we've aligned with certain individuals to have conversations about what the possibility of what is going on, what the truth could be, not the absolute truth, but deciphering, analyzing, drawing conclusions to these narratives that we have and are privy to through skillful research. I'm not one of those, mind you. I've watched a few things in the first year and then I just disassociated myself. So I haven't really kept up with geopolitical narratives, keeping my eye on it and keeping my eye on Trump. But again, moving away, focusing on the business. So it's very disheartening that this happened, but not dwelling on that. It was just then took me on a quest to really understand what was going on in the unseen warfare. And I've had a keen interest in understanding that, the esoteric world. And that's been from a very young age. Born at 11 minutes past 11. Do you think that's something to do with it, or the fact that I see 144? There has been this spiritual gravitation to really seek to know thyself. And then I fall flat on the floor, have the major dark night of the soul, and think, oh God, again. And shit happens. We're all here on our individual journey, trying to figure out our own way, shining our light. And it starts with the self-awareness, the accountability for our own actions, our own behaviors, and being truthful to self and stopping the blame game, and that takes work. So to see the projection out there with the kind of barrage of things that are going on, it's pretty scandalous. And I don't know if people saw Mr. Truth Bomb. Again, I was used as a read on me this, folks, by the way. I was used as a pawn yet again. I didn't even know who Mr. Truth Bomb was. And his videos were apparently on Good Lion, free to watch. And then I see this whole thing on Twitter, X, sorry, with my name and a blackmail and threat to Nick, who, as many will know, we've gone our separate ways. A lot of love for Nick, huge love for him and his journey. But some things end, and it's as simple as that. I wish him all the best, but I was used as a pawn because Nick had this guy's all his videos on Good Line, free to watch. You don't have to be a member; you can just watch it free. It's like watching Rumble, things on Rumble for free. And this was stuff that he's had on since he started Good Lion, and for whatever reason, Mr. Truth Bomb went bananas and didn't want him to have it for, and Nick didn't take it down. So then I was threatened that a movie's going to be made about me and Ari. So Phil, Sandra was the Truth Bomb. I was being bombed, basically. And it just then really sort of stepped in where I thought, oh God, this was crazy. He was going through quite a difficult time with my pops and his health. And it was all sort of being thrown at me. And like I said, I spoke about all of this on Bruce's show, but just really made me realize that when it rains, it pours, but God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And I had to sort of wake up, smell the coffee, and remember who the fuck I am, excuse my profanities there. But we all need to kind of remember who we are. And not get so attached to people and things and outcomes. Because I really thought this journey was about, the other side of this, facing the storms, navigating ourselves through all this twists and turns, and doing it to the best of our ability, but creating. Life is about co-creation and constantly creating. And I think I kind of reveled in the wrong communities. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but it's all a lesson. And I shied away from speaking and connecting. and something that I truly love doing with people. I minimized myself at the expense of building others up. These 3 years have been interesting about so many things with where I was, where my life was going to go. I was going to be married, and I thought that that was a new journey. And then it just went flip flop, flippity flop in every single way that you can imagine. And I mentioned on Bruce's show, I think I went into a fight or flight freeze moment. And with all of these attacks, I just went, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Don't know what to say. I don't know. Somebody give me a manual. I wish I had one. But, you got to face your fears. You got to face your challenges. And, as I sort of started leaning into learning about the various forms of the mind viruses, spiritual warfare, again, citing Paul Levy's work, he goes on to say that the Wetico psychosis is at the very root of humanity's inhumanity, and itself in its various forms. We need to step into and participate in our own spiritual and psychological evolution, which is what I was just explaining earlier on, before this virulent madness destroys us. I mean, can you see it? Can you see that people are going through this? Hi, Tony. Oh, yes, got one more person. I still can't see, the analytics for the chat, but it's okay. Thank you for being here, even if it is 3 of you, and whoever watches this afterwards. It's nice to reconnect. To my lovers, to my trolls, to the haters, to the lovers, to the appreciators, all of you. Hello. And then he goes on, sorry, I was talking about where to go, talks about the contagious psycho-spiritual disease, which is of the soul, and is currently being acted out in the masses on a world stage via an insidious collective psychosis. He says titanic proportions. I think is bigger than that. This mind virus, which Native Americans have called Wetico, covertly operates through the unconscious blind spots in the human psyche and rendering people oblivious to their own madness and compelling them to act against their own best interest. It's taken over humanity in many ways, and it is a non-physical intrapsychic mind virus. Thank you, real life with Pedersen's. Yay, I am strong. And yeah, it works through our minds, shadows, blind spots, and wounds. It can destroy relationships and communities, and it is a sickness of the soul. The spiritual level, it's Wetico, which makes you forget who you are and act out your pain onto others. This can create division within any community or movement, and it intensifies the psychological war we're in because it constantly keeps us fighting each other. It's incredibly contagious, and anyone can easily catch it from each other. When you encounter someone infected by this mind virus, if you're unaware of what's happening, they can easily infect you with it too. The only way out is in, and we must understand these psychic viruses and seek to defeat them within ourselves by understanding this virus, Wetico, and looking at how it tags onto us. Otherwise, it will use divide and conquer tactics at every turn to keep us separated, drained, and constantly fighting each other. So I hope that makes sense. And that really kind of was, all these kind of things were, being sent my way just as I was asking the questions, that there's something, and I could see things, I could intuitively connect. I could tell when people got hijacked, their eyes were turned funny. And I thought I was going mad. And it's taken a while for me to fully come into the acceptance that from a very young age, I have not accepted that. I always thought I was cuckoo. I used to see colors around people. I've said this a few times, because we are desensitized and we're shut down. And a lot of people in this healing journey, whatever label they want to go by, the twin flames, divine masculine, divine feminines, healers, light workers, starseeds, palladium, I love them all. They all sound nice. And angels, wherever you want to, however you want to affiliate yourself with, have gone through a lot of turbulent and tumultuous times from a very young age. And I think it's all been a part of this great global awakening where we've had to discover the whys, the why nots of why so much of this has happened throughout our lives and lifetimes. I work with an amazing Reiki healer who is clairsentient, clairvoyant, and things that were considered very woo-woo are all kind of coming back into reality or realizations that alternative healing and the unseen healing is actually relevant and becoming more and more prevalent. But because there's a lot of stigma, or was a lot of stigma associated with all these healing modalities and things on the esoteric path, I understand where this comes from. And when we're just in observation mode and taking action when we feel it's right, not just for the sake of being a hero or hero complex, trust me, I can't save the world. There was a time in the beginning where I was so angry. I was just like, I want to save every single kid out there. And I'm sure we've all wanted to do that. The reality is, and the reality check is that as a collective, it is better that we join forces in unity and harmony. I know that's not realistic, especially as we've seen how things have unfolded recently. And when have we as a collective ever achieved that? But the more we keep fighting and being at war with ourselves, the more that whatever's going on in the internal scape is being projected in the collective consciousness externally. So when people say do the inner work, it is so important. And all these different labels where people can identify with whichever resonates with you, have faced a lot of turbulent times, tumultuous trials, childhood traumas, wounding. And it's really there to have served them for the trajectory of their soul. And when you understand this at a deep level, things can really start making sense. Everything is coming to teach us something. We all behave and react in various ways down to the blueprint of the essence of our soul. And like I said, that we do need to speak up for the wrongs in this world, and we do have to question everything without having an attachment to the outcome, because there is always the possibility of the disappointment. So let's take the public slander that was happening to me, for example. I was in a bit of a frenzy for a few days, and of course I am. Of course, a private person, suddenly, all this shit's being said about Ari, me, my personal relationship with Nick, and it was horrific. But it is what it is, and people that revel in that kind of sensationalism, good luck to you, because I'm not that important to even, and for anyone to know about my personal life. Certainly not controlled opposition. They wouldn't choose me, trust me. They wouldn't. And Nick is not a Fed. He's not CIA. We may be estranged and have gone our separate ways. I wish, like I said, I will never be disrespectful for somebody I shared a wonderful journey with through the highs and through all the lows. It's just not something where I want to even take my energy to. But one thing I can say is whatever's been said about him, how he behaves on social media, what things he says, he's an adult, he can. Please stop messaging me about it. I really would appreciate that. But I have found certain things comical, and I've controlled opposition. He's a Fed. He's taken a plea deal. Somebody said to me, "Oh yeah, Nick took a deal." Nick, I know, I was there when he was attending his sentencing in 2021 when he took off his ankle monitor off, and the terms of his probation were said in court so many people could hear it live. And I can assure you, he's not an informant. He has his views, changes his mind as he wishes, and he does what he does, but certainly not a CIA or an FBI informant. He made some incredible documentaries, and yeah, we'll leave that at that about Nick. But we started this business together, and we've gone our separate ways, as has Ari from Good Lion. So you'll be seeing a lot of changes. I want to add a few different products to the business. So I am in discussion about getting these made, some with Donald and some with other people. So watch this space. But going back to this spiritual warfare, let me see and check in with everyone. Oh, thank you, Loretta. Really appreciate that. Opposition can invade from expected, accessible associations, some associated scoundrels of no fault of your own, except being one of those harsh. Yeah, I do. I could sue them for defamation, sweetheart, but they're really not relevant enough to do it. I can fight back in my own kind of way when I've had to wait till I kind of got my energy back, because while Alessandro and this Phil were taking down Ari, and then my own breakdown of my connection with Nick throughout this, what was the worst thing was this was all happening when my dad was becoming painfully thin. This was in March, and just not saying this for sympathy, but it's just a long story short, I was dealing with all of this craziness where we were just so concerned about my dad. He became thinner than me, and he's a cancer survivor. His cancer was in remission, and last year he was not being tested regularly, so we were pushing. Then he was saying, no, I'm in remission. If it was anything urgent, they'd say. And I was saying, Dad, you've got to understand that this is the NHS. You just can't blindly trust them. And he's like, no, they were really good initially. Anyway, long story short, come May, Phil's wanting to sue me. Alessandro's making memes about me, saying all sorts of horrible things about me, split from Nick. And now my dad's in hospital with his cancer that had spread violently. And you know why? Because they forgot to tell him, and they knew about it since June 2023. So here I am in March, and I'm like, what? So overnight, within 48 hours, he was taken in. They operated on him. I was very reluctant. I was confused. I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. Like I was in a panic. So, medical negligence. We're seeing it so much more. And how the hell did I not escape that with my own pops? So, it was a real kind of challenging time that that I thought, okay, I'm gonna come back even stronger, and work hard on helping my pops. And 2 months, when is it? March, April, May, June, almost 3 months. Suffice to say, through a lot of prayer work, I didn't make it public knowledge. This wasn't something that I could even contend with at the time. I didn't even want them to stop. I just ignored everything. I came off social media and focused on my pops. And he has his moments, but it was a 4.5 hour surgery. They took out 11 of his lymph nodes. And that's the thing that really upsets me, because they forgot. So we're talking from the beginning of June, when they found out, in 2023 till March, good 8 months of not informing us. Oh, 1 second. My battery's gonna die. 1 second. You see me? Anyway, 1 second. Sorry. Situation. Yeah, so that was a really interesting time to contend with. And now you're hearing so much come out in the news about sudden all the turbo cancers and whatnot. And I can't really say much because they've got me on one strike already at the moment. So I'll just leave that at that. And Have we got Rochelle in the house? Oh, I love you. Is that you, Rochelle? Yay. Tell me it's you. I love Rochelle. She's an angel. She's part of my 144 tribe. By the way, do you like these caps, guys? I'm actually going to be getting some launched. So let me know what you think. I've got a few that I have started designing, and I've partnered up with an amazing friend of mine. So I'll be doing this pretty soon. So a few exciting little personal, passionate projects that I'd like to pursue alongside Ari, extend the product line. But this is all a learning journey for all of us. When do we fully ever heal? Somebody said to me the other day, we don't. Like, we endeavor to do the best that we can to heal and then and confirm and have positive affirmations to say that, in every day, in every way, you're getting stronger and stronger, you're healing. You're gonna have bumps against along the way and in the journey, and you just got to keep going. Find your tribe, go where you're loved, learn your own toxicity, learn your own dark shadow, learn everything about yourself, and come into the synthesis between the two polarities, because the dark and light is always going to coexist. And it just depends at which polarity is existing within you. And, the acceptance and how we strive forward to heal. And don't you think it's a healing crisis that we're going through right now? And learning about all of these mind viruses, learning everything at these multi-dimensional levels. I'm certainly no authority in these subjects, but I do like talking about it and, wanting to come out there, having really good discussions with some people that I've lined up. So from sort of July, I think, I'm getting my equipment and doing a new style of podcast and talking about things outside the geopolitical arena, maybe one or two. I really love what Dr. Asim Malhotra is doing. Met up with him a few times. Someone from my communities who took the prick and lost his father as a result, and he has now become an advocate for change and delved deeper and deeper into his fraternity, and now he's out there educating people about it. So he turned his crisis into a blessing. I think that sometimes we reprimand those that did take it, which I think now we have to have when I say compassion, I think for coming out of judgment, because it's done, the damage has been done. Those that didn't listen, they didn't. Now they're going to face their repercussions if they haven't taken the placebo and the real one. So what we can do is strive to help them if they want to, and those that are still in cognitive dissonance about it, just let them. I that's where I've resided, and coming back into like this sense of inner unity with self and connection with self, where we're connecting with people. And this Saturday I reconnected with group of friends that I've known for 20 years plus, and I had this paranoia because they all stopped talking to me, ghosting and blocking, all this kind of stuff that had gone on as I started this movement and speaking out in whichever way I could to help get the message out there, not to take these experimental shots. And it's what a journey. And I think there is that running theme with everyone that endeavored to do that. So what's gone on in the last 6 months acutely has made me really realize is that, look, we can keep talking about and reveling in these subjects till the cows come home every single day, but I certainly made me quite sick for sure. And that's why I came out. And I now, I play more importance to my inner journey, looking after my spiritual health, connecting with like I said, with friends, and just enjoying the moment and being so detached, working through for things that I need to work through. And really, Ari is something that I neglected too. I neglected. It had a detrimental impact, all of this public slander and character assassination of Ari. And like I said, Alessandra, I hope that makes you feel proud. Hope that makes you feel good and heart-centered that you took out this this stance and this campaign to do that. But Ari's not going to go anywhere. And Ari's going to come back with more strength, more greater stories. I am actually going to be having some educational resources on the website. I'm learning how to do that all myself online. It's been a bit tricky. I nearly wiped out my whole website the other day, and I was like, oh, crap. But there was a sense of nervousness about doing the site myself. So if you do see errors, that's me, and forgive me. I'm trying, but educational resources, some blogs. I've got some people that are going to be regular writers. Rochelle, is that you? Is that you here? It is you. It is. Okay, I'll let her say. Oh, thank you, Felix. Mark, hi. Oh, there's a couple more people. Yeah, and we have Jacqueline. Jacqueline went to Andrew Wakefield's launch of his movie Protocol 7, and I'm looking forward to watching that. It's a movie based on the MMR. And yeah, I haven't watched it, but that'll be interesting. So it's a great time for Ari to thrive. And don't get me wrong, there's so many things that people are doing within the subject of helping their children or themselves that are on the spectrum, and which essentially is just getting the brain back to homeostasis, removing heavy metals from your body, from your brain. That's what Ari does. And then the autism support starts going in there and nourishing the parts where all this stuff has been taken out. And slowly but surely there is significant improvement. The one kid that Rochelle always tells me about, which is my favorite, who's been on Ari now for 1 year, she calls it miracle in a bottle. And if it works for him, there's a lot of things that also need to be considered alongside that. You know, sugar is detrimental to the brain, especially those that sit on the spectrum. Gluten, trying to get the gut back into balance. I think Ari's great because it's external, it's a topical, and you know, children that sit on the spectrum don't really like taking things, you know, orally. So supplements or any kind of tinctures. I've had a lot of parents say that this is actually good because even though they may not like the smell of it, you know, they end up putting it on them when they're asleep, so, or through their navel. So some say that they don't notice much of a difference initially. It takes some time. Carol, who's actually going to come and pick up her 3rd or 4th duo since October. I think he's in one of the videos. Anthony is just like not even having speech therapy where they thought he would be having speech therapy continuously, but she had not the best experience during the detox. So I don't make any don't shy away from the fact that detoxing can be gnarly for anyone. Some may not actually face anything. And managing people's expectations, I just don't know how this will respond for you, but you can expect, could expect, you know, extra bowel movement, feeling extra foggy because toxins are coming out, skin rashes, somebody had spots all over them. And then eventually start sort of getting to the other side, feeling a bit more clearer, reduced anxiety, better focus. And so this is why I want to get the cognitive name put on the autism support, because people who are not sitting on the spectrum are reporting really good results. I think my ADHD is kicking in now. I think I've been, what was supposed to be a 5-minute chit chat has been a bit longer than I think. But look, folks, Send me any messages that you want to before I sign off. If you've got any questions for me. But thanks for joining in, even if there have been a few and the algorithms are getting restarted and reignited. If you see any of the shows, do check out Bruce Poppy on, let me just get his channel. I think it's Alpha Warrior. Oh, I got that right. Bruce Poppy. Where are you? Here we go. Mindset Monday on the unpopular viewpoint on Rumble. So go and have a look at him. He's such a lovely guy, awesome in his energy, and having me on. We didn't talk about Ari only. We actually covered some of the stuff, but I spoke about it more in detail, and just a lovely connection. Thank you for joining me, listening. If you have this far and my waffle, I thought it'd be nice just to kind of reacquaint myself with however many people that are here. And I will be having hopefully more regular shows. Didn't feel up to it psychologically or mentally, I'll be honest. I felt very confused and disheartened with the way things have been going. But the second half of this year now, we're in the last 6 months of 2024. How quickly have they gone? These months have gone, and rapid change. After the eclipse, change. And we're kind of going up out of the other side. It's definitely is a roller coaster. We've got all these planets all over the place, and I just blame it on the moon and stars. It's just on the moon and stars. It's just the energy. But wherever you're at, whatever place you are in your journey, know your truth, shine your light, and find your own way. And just remember, folks, that nobody's God other than God. There's the creator. We all have our own unique gifts. We don't need to be this angry with bashing people. I understand conflict, an integral conflict, and conflict done with emotional maturity, and disagreements that are handled with emotional maturity is all very relevant. I get it. We're not always going to have the same opinions on things, and that's absolutely fine to fight for that. And we're in the times of great exposure. Picking battles, I think, is a wise choice. There are things that are rooted to an egocentric mania, either to increase numbers, but then behind the scenes, a lot of hypocrisy is happening. And in terms of, behavior and energies and things like that. And then there's people out there silently going out, doing things that we don't even know about, that are not in the public arena, making change, fighting for their communities in whichever way they can. It's all relevant. No one's a single-handed hero in the world. And we're all a piece of the puddles. Well, it seems like puddles lately, puzzles, and connecting the dots, and working on ourselves with our own egocentric warfare. And that really is it. And living in that purpose and passion and doing things exuberantly, and facing your fears and in your insecurities and being honest about what the heck they are in the first instance, and never forgetting that we all have the right to be happy. We have the right to be abundant. We don't need to be in scarcity and poverty consciousness. I have to have that fear of giving a crap what people think. We can all succumb to it, but move forward, forge forward with the mindset of whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want to tackle, be it pursuing a passion, your own inhibitions, working on your public speaking. I mean, I was nervous as heck these last few months doing shows, waffling on and going off on many tangents. I mean, it's my ADHD, but just really afraid to come back in the public after all these attacks. And I was, but whatever. It's been so much said right now that I couldn't give flying two hoots. If you lot think I'm that important to make memes of me and do all these hilarious things, do it. And those that want to watch that, stay in that frequency, because that's as far as you'll get. Those that want to learn and elevate and get to places where we're connecting consciously in better communities, where you want to move away from all this sensationalism, because wasn't that the point of oh, it's working. Wasn't that the point of where we set off and embarked on this movement to co-create a better world for ourselves? I mean, look, Michael Jackson's song's really coming out, heal the world, make it a better place right now. And I know we've all endeavored to do that. But the reality stares us in the face, and we have to confront all these issues as they come along. If we don't experience them, we don't know. So we can live in a bit of a la la land of, yeah, love, light, and hippiness, and then shit hits the fan and you're like, what do I do with this? So it's about the recalibration and balance, and just understanding that the duality exists, and that when we are projecting onto others, the finger points more towards the inner work that we need to do. My mom will say, look, when one finger points at you, I'll by 3 foot point back at you, right? So if we're there pointing the fingers at everyone, you did this, you are that, you did this in the relationships because of you, and I'm responsible for world hunger and all of that. But then the blame game has to really shift into the internal world, because that projection is why we're in this mess, right? That we're all at some kind of warfare within ourselves. So that's where I'm going to leave it at that. And whoever did watch this, however far you got, thank you. If you got to this part, like I said, know your truth, shine your light, and find your own way. Thank you for watching, and I love you. I think it wants me to stay on.